When Morgan saw that dog at the shelter, she knew right away there was no way she could just walk past her. But her husband Alan's reaction to their new pet turned out completely different than what she expected. It all started the day Morgan first walked up to her cage. Morgan arrived at the shelter and immediately noticed a dog that seemed to be hiding from the whole world. Thin, with her head down and cautious eyes, she looked tired and lost. The staff told her the dog's name was Espy. She lived with a man who bred dogs, but over time he couldn't handle it anymore and stopped taking care of them. Despite her fear, Espy took a small step toward Morgan and gently licked her hand like she was trying to show she was ready to trust. At that moment, Morgan knew she couldn't leave without her. Without even thinking, she filled out the adoption papers. She didn't even check with her husband first. Once everything was finalized, Morgan took a picture of Espy and sent Alan a short message. "Look who I got." He was at work, but he replied almost right away. Alan was uneasy. They were still living with his parents, and there were already 4 dogs in the house. He admitted he was afraid to get attached, just in case they had to give her back. Morgan understood his concern, but deep down she knew she did the right thing. And when Alan met Espy for the first time, everything became clear without a single word. Espy walked up to him, sniffed his hand, and quietly rested her head on his knees. Morgan saw a look on his face she'd never forget. Espy had just stolen his heart. From the very first moments, it was obvious Espy had never lived inside a house before. She stopped at the doorway, unsure what to do, glancing at Morgan and Alan as if asking for help. They didn't rush her, they called her softly, showed her the way, and sometimes even carried her so she could feel safe. Little by little, Espy began to settle in. She carefully explored the house, sniffed the furniture as if checking whether this place was really safe. And one day, without any encouragement, she jumped onto the couch, curled up into a ball, and fell asleep right away. That's when Morgan and Alan realized, for the first time in a long while, Espy finally felt safe. Each day she grew more confident, and soon her real personality started to shine through. She stopped just watching from the side and began running around the yard, walking up to people and trying to get everyone to play with her. Morgan liked to joke that they now had a little baked potato living with them, because of her round body and those ears sticking out and bouncing whenever she ran. Espy's favorite name was Fritheby. The moment someone picked up the disc, her eyes would light up and she'd take off like the world around her didn't exist.
Did you find it?
But over time, Morgan noticed that around Alan, Espy was different. Calmer, more at peace, as if she felt something special when he was near. Every evening, Espy waited for Alan by the door. The moment he stepped inside, her whole body wiggled with excitement like she just couldn't hold it in. And as soon as he sat on the couch, she'd curl up beside him, pressing against him and refusing to move away.
What you doing, honey? Oh, baby girl, what you doing?
After a while, Alan started joking that he now had a little shadow following him everywhere. Morgan watched them with a smile, remembering how unsure he'd been at first. And now she couldn't imagine him without Espy. Over time, they both started to notice something else. Espy seemed to sense when one of them was feeling down or tense. It was like she could feel their moods before they even realized it themselves. Whenever one of them felt anxious or sad, Espy would quietly come over, rest her head on their lap, and somehow make it clear that everything would be okay. And it always worked. The tension just melted away and the house felt calm again. Now Espy is always with them. On walks, road trips, hikes, or just quiet evenings on the couch. She feels like she's been part of their family from the very beginning. Sometimes Morgan and Alan think back to that day at the shelter and realize they were wrong. They thought they were giving Espy a second chance, but in truth, she's the one who changed their lives.